Hello, and thanks for tuning into the show that goes around the continent to bring you stories near and far. I'm Chamberlain Osoa, Channels Television here in Abuja, and I'm joined by Heidi Adams from Voice of America in Washington.
Thanks. I'm Heidi Adams at the Voice of America. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with the latest from Nigeria. Chamberlain Uso in Abuja brings us that story.
The National Population Commission is planning to deploy full technology for the conduct of the 2023 Population and Housing Census. The Federal Commissioner for Taraba State, Mr. Sani Sule, stated this at a training for facilitators and specialized workforce preparatory to the exercise in Jalingo, the state capital. Mr. Sule explains that the idea is to avert cases of error in all ramifications and meet best international practices.
Due to several setbacks for over 16 years, Nigeria has not been able to conduct a population census, while data collected in 2006 census has been rendered out of date for planning purposes. Hence the reason the country is introducing its first ever digital census exercise.
This device is very important for the success of the conduct of 2023 population and housing census. The electronic device is the major medium for the digital census conduct. It houses the census questionnaires as well as the maps that direct enumerators to the enumeration areas where they will conduct the census. The devices, when provisioned with the forms and the maps and other digital enhancement, ensures the enumerators cannot go beyond the areas assigned to them. Thus, there will be no overcounting, no undercounting, and there will be no overlap.
Because the purposes of election are quite different from that of census. Census is purely an economic activity. It is the data, the demographic data that you get from census that helps any country to develop. So whether it is before election or after election, the important thing is that the demographic data, which this time we are telling Nigerians and the world will be accurate, dependable, and must be usable, would also be usable, should be put into use.
While the general elections are fast approaching, the Commission says the polls will have no negative impact on census. But it appears majority of the populace are not aware of the upcoming exercise slated between March the 29th and April the 1st.
I haven't heard of it, that there's any census coming soon.
I'm aware, but you hear about it just at any time they like to mention it.
Nigeria is projected to have a population of over 200 million and is the sixth most populous country in the world by the year 2050, after India and China.
Well, joining us now to discuss the 2023 population census is Barrister Abimbola Saluhundeyin, Honorable Federal Commissioner representing Lagos. Welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, so tell us, how much of a role will technology play in the conduct of the 2023 census?
Thank you very much once again for having me here at Channels. We all know that technology is a faster mode of doing things than analog. And technology is the global currency now. If you want to achieve efficiency, if you want to save time and even costs. And that is why the National Population Commission has decided to engage technology this time. We are going fully digital in conducting the 2023 census. This would help in minimizing a lot of errors that were hitherto associated with manual taking of data. And this would also help in ensuring better accuracy. It will save time so that our enumerators don't have to be writing everything when they get to a particular respondent. Your name, you write, maybe the spelling is wrong or something, you keep correcting and all that. When it is technology, as soon as you say it, it is imputed into the personal digital assistant, which I would shortly call the PDA, that every enumerator will be carrying around during the enumeration process.
So tell us, given that the 2023 elections will be happening just before the census, is there some sort of competition for the attention of the citizens here?
Of course, naturally, for a lot of reasons. You know that election had always been every 4 years. So it's something everybody knows about. A child born 6 years ago understands there's going to be, 8 years ago, knows about elections. Regrettably, the periodicity for census is yet to be fixed. It should, the norm globally is every 10 years. But because it's not fixed in Nigeria, now we're having this one at the 17th year. The last one we had was 2006. So most of our youths don't even know what census is. So there is a lot of competition. People are more interested in the election result for a lot of other reasons, but they see census, which is a very peaceful process, as what most people don't know. They don't even know the essence of census. And I would want to say here that census is so important to any country because it is the foundation of sustainable development of any nation. And it entails it involves everybody residing in that country. It's all inclusive. Whether a child is born on the morning of the census, we must take the census. Whoever it is, once you are a living being, it is a common oxygen. Anybody that is breathing on the day of the census, we must take the particulars of that person.
Right. So how much awareness has or is being created for this?
Well, we have done a lot. You can see this is what, in Lagos State, I tell you, we wear this almost on a daily basis because we want people to know that the census is on. Even your station channels have been very great partners in progress. 2 weeks ago, I was in channels, and I'm going to be at other stations when I leave here, other media stations when I leave here today. We are trying our best in terms of advocacy, but I agree with you, we need to do more so that people can understand what census is all about, and they can give us their full cooperation. It's very important.
One more thing. What has the feedback been like just a few weeks to the exercise?
Well, the feedback has been, it's mixed feelings. This is the truth. We're encouraged in some aspects, and some other aspects we're not. With our functionaries and what we have done in terms of planning at the Commission, I must say that we're very encouraged. Currently, we're training our facilitators. We've trained some special workers. We're training some people we call the DQM. These are the people. We've trained the monitoring and evaluation people. You know, we are training, a lot of training is going on so that we can have the best. Because don't forget, this is the first time Nigeria is going to have digital census. And because it is the first time, it is new to everybody, even those of us at the Commission. But we have been undergoing a lot of training, and the facilitators, the functionaries are also undergoing a lot of training. We're encouraged with our preparations because a lot have gone in. Remember also that the enumeration area demarcation, where we demarcated the whole country, which is what will be used for the national frame, was also digitally carried out. We also used the digital system for that. So we've done so much digitally that we are convinced that this census, being a digital one, will do Nigeria a lot of good this time. It will bring accuracy. And you know what census does as the mother of all data? It's the one that helps government to have informed policy decisions. It helps the private sector as well. It is what is used even for legislative representation. It is what is used in infrastructure. It is what is used for economic policies, informed economic policies. So it's really important that we get it
All right,
correct.
then, Barrister Abimbola Salu Hundeyi, Honorable Federal Commissioner representing Lagos State, thank you for joining us on Africa 54.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Africa 54. I'm Heidi Adams in Washington. A new report by the Africa Center for Strategic Studies says a once-in-a-100 years floods will become more common in coastal communities due to rising sea levels caused by climate change. As a stretch of West Africa's coast is set to become the world's largest megalopolis and an economic powerhouse, academics worry rising sea levels will stymie growth and impact the continent and the world. Henry Wilkins reports from Ganvi, Benin.
Once-a-century floods are projected to start happening once every 40 years thanks to rising sea levels caused by climate change. On the outskirts of Benin's economic capital, Cotonou, dwellings in the town of Ganvi are built on stilts in a coastal lagoon. It's sometimes referred to as the Venice of Africa. Local government officials in the commune of Soava, where Ganvi is located, say flooding has gotten worse in recent decades.
Dans la commune de Soava ici, il y a deux activités principales.
There are two primary economic activities here in the commune of Soava, agriculture and fishing. So when the water rises, the crops are destroyed. Also, the freshwater fish disappear. As a result, economic life becomes difficult.
Alexandra Bodo, another Ganvi resident, says his livestock living in this pen were lost to the flood and the water filled his house to this level.
We lose our houses and we have no money to rebuild them, so the whole family sleeps in a boat.
One of the things that I find shocking is how little finance is going to support these cities overall in terms of building infrastructure and services. But particularly with climate, it's extremely important that we not only adapt, but with the rising sea levels, that mitigation is taken into account as well.
Experts say the stretch of West Africa's coastline from Abidjan to Lagos is on track to become the world's largest megalopolis and could be home to 500 million people by the end of this century.
That's probably 50% of Africa's, or more than 50% of Africa's total GDP in that strip. So if it develops well, it could really anchor the continent, it could anchor the globe in terms of heading into this sustainable development.
Aside from Ganvi, Lagos and Ghana's capital of Accra experienced major floods in 2022. Henry Wilkins for VOA News, Ganvi, Benin.
The run-up to a vote is usually a chance for small businesses like print houses to cash in on election paraphernalia, ranging from hats and flip-flops to tissue boxes and cooking oil labels. But business has been slower than usual ahead of the February 25th vote, as candidates have hinged their campaigns on social media.
A loud wave fills the back of a print shop in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, as machines churn out grinning faces of presidential election frontrunners on posters, flyers, and food packaging. Workers pour cassava flour into blue and green bags sporting the governing All Progressives Congress Party acronym and stash them next to a pile of red and green opposition People's Democratic Party rice packets. The CEO of a print shop recalls busier period in 2011, 2015 and 2019 polls.
Printing-wise, not much difference in our orders. Just a little, someone will come and order a few souvenirs, a few campaign materials, a few billboards. But the impact on the print industry is not as huge as it was in previous elections.
Social media has been a key campaigning tool ahead of a poll in which, according to the Electoral Commission data, almost 40% of registered voters are 34 or younger.
The only thing we have noticed is that there's a lot of hype on social media. Social media has played a lot of role in this. I think because of also the level of youth participation.
Not everything has moved online, as parties still commission political materials for rallies and other in-person campaign events. At the printing mall in Abuja's business district, bold political slogans flashed from scarves hanging in the background.
We are not seeing those things as strange. It's what we want. In short, the most craziest of order for a printer is a good job.
Come February 25, Nigerians will vote for a new leader to take over from President Muhammadu Buhari amid growing insecurity and economic hardship. The frontrunners have promised to reduce living costs, boost growth, and tackle rising levels of violence.
In northern Kenya, the government and aid groups have launched a project teaching computer coding to herders so they can find more sustainable jobs. But not everyone supports education that could end their traditional way of life, as Victoria Amunga reports from Isiolo, Kenya.
Herding communities such as this in northern Kenya's Isiolo County don't have access to education, but the government and some aid agencies are stepping in to make a difference by introducing digital literacy programs in schools located in remote regions. The goal, they say, is to equip this generation of pastoralists with skills for modern jobs, like teaching them coding.
There's no way for them to be exposed. It's difficult for them to have trips to take them to areas where they can see technology. There's no mobile network here, so it's just not possible. They don't have television, they don't have smartphones in their homes, and so technology is just a strange thing to them. So bringing it in the classroom really makes that child feel empowered.
14-year-old Christine Kinyaga says her exposure to the training helped her realize that there are other opportunities beyond pastoralism.
Education is good. It will help me in my life. I had not been sent to school. I was just always herding my father's goats. One day, my elder brother questioned why I was herding instead of going to school. My father did not want me to come to school.
Easing dependence on pastoralism in favor of education here is a long shot, but some elders in the community, like John Paradusea, believe it is necessary in the wake of a growing population and climatic conditions that are putting pressure on natural resources.
In this area, there are almost no cows because there is nothing to graze. As soon as the green grass comes up, it is all eaten, and when the grass is gone, our wealth goes too because the number of people is increasing and grazing land is now getting smaller.
Keeping the students in school is hard for these communities, and the state authorities say they're finding ways to encourage them to attend classes, including initiatives to feed them.
We also offer incentives in terms of providing food. That is the school meals program, whereby they have 1 meal per day. And this one helps to bring these kids to school. Actually, some of them come simply because they know they are going to have that 1 meal per day.
Herders in at least 23 schools in northern Kenya have access to the digital education programs. Authorities say they hope to extend the initiative to more schools in marginalized regions in the future. Victoria Amunga for VOA News, Isiolo, Kenya.
Get your virtual reality glasses ready as we take you to meet a Nigerian artist who is using artificial intelligence to reimagine life for African elderly people. He does this by showcasing near real-life pictures and videos of them walking down the fashion ramp and on the beach. Take a look.
White-haired men and women strut down the catwalk in the latest fashion, but it is not real life. These hyper-realistic images have been created using artificial intelligence by Nigerian artists.
That was the same day that a prophecy was meant to come to pass, the prophecy that nobody took serious.
Malika Februar, who is also a filmmaker, said because many elderly people were marginalized in society, especially in the fashion world, he began to imagine how they would look if they were models.
The Elder series came from me trying to showcase the elderly people in a different way that you don't normally see them. You know, because I feel they're marginalized. I feel like people don't talk about them, you know, in the community or anything. So I wanted to see them in a different space. And what inspired that was my personal relationship with my mom as well. So I wanted to see, you know, always, you know, imagine the elderly people in a place that is not either in a sad space or in a suppressed state.
Februar started posting some of his work on social media and it went viral.
Good to go, good to go.
He came up with Elders series, a catalogue of pictures and videos showing white-haired women and bearded men strutting the runway for a virtual fashion show in Afrocentric attire, including ornamental neck and arm bands.
So I never thought it was going to go this viral. I just thought my friends would like it, my friends would like it, I normally do, but I never thought it would go this far. However, when I was making it, I kind of knew there was something there. Because when I was creating it, I was enjoying the images. I was like, wow, this is dope. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Afegwa was not always an artist. He studied business in university, but stepped into the world of filming after a friend bought him a camera in 2011.
The history speaks a lot for us that we need to learn from to know where we're going to. So why don't we tap into that? So that love for that, to find out more about them is always me trying to tap into that space. So for me trying to tap into that space already, I like to explore in terms of what are they missing out on, what's going on in society, and how can they be inclusive.
He said the idea to explore a different world for old people came when his elderly mother fell ill. Using an artificial intelligence app, he started creating content showing a brighter side of old age.
Nature photographers from around the world express their sentiments about an ever-changing planet in a contest sponsored by the Nature Conservancy, an environmental non-profit. VOA's Julie Tabo has more on the winning images.
Dewdrops shimmer like diamonds on this purple heart flower. A fan-throated lizard catches some sun on a wind farm in India. And a drone shot of a secluded highway in Tibet reveals a tree shape formed by erosion. These are just a few images by photographers who captured unique aspects of nature in hopes of raising awareness of the beauty and fragility of our ever-changing planet. The photos are among the winners of a contest by the Nature Conservancy, an environmental nonprofit. The competition drew 100,000 entries from 196 countries and territories.
This contest brings the world's photographers to our fingertips and our computer screens. We get to see every corner of the globe through another person's perspective.
Florian Ledoux captured this image of a polar bear nursing her cubs in an abandoned Russian coal mining settlement in Norway.
For me, this image is a statement that in the future, our society might collapse and animals, wildlife, nature will still be there.
It always takes a little while before the animals get used to you.
Coyote Peterson, a competition judge and the host of the Brave Wilderness Adventure series on YouTube, chose Ledoux's image.
I just felt that everything about that image was incredibly powerful. An animal is going to do whatever it needs to do to fight to survive. And when it comes to a mother taking care of her young, it didn't matter what the backdrop was. She was there for her baby, and that really spoke to me.
Capturing the image of this leopard carrying the corpse of a female vervet monkey with its baby still hanging on was a heart-wrenching experience for photographer Shafiq Mullah of Zambia.
When I first posted this picture on Instagram, I had a lot of negative comments coming in. Like, why did you save the monkey and how can you be so cruel? It was very emotional and also heartbreaking also. But us wildlife photographers, we can't interfere in nature.
For photographer Kaylee Che, who lives in Australia, finding and photographing bioluminescent mushrooms is a magical experience. Her shot of what she's nicknamed ghost mushrooms, due to their eerie green glow, won first prize in the plants and fungi category.
So those mushrooms look quite ordinary in daylight, but it comes in nighttime, they are like a totally different species altogether. It glows, and you feel like you're in a fairyland somehow when you're photographing them. You know, it's just amazing. Like, it's almost a spiritual experience.
While each photo is unique, they all serve as reminders of nature's beauty, fragility, and resilience, and a reminder of the importance of protecting and preserving natural wonders. Julie Tabo, VOA News, Washington.
And that is our show for today. You can find all the continent's top news and world news online at voaafrica.com. Check it out. I'm Hayley Adams in Washington. Channels Television has our last word.
We look forward to bringing you another show next week. Do remember, channelstv.com is your source for news and other programming. I'm Chamberlain Oso. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.